can go online, click on the link, and they can see what we've got going on here today at the Indigenous Youth Summit on Climate and Ocean Change. So I just wanted to let you guys know we are live on air now.
Okay, and so we were just going to have a welcome.
Absolutely. Okay. Go ahead. I just wanted to let them know that the camera was live. We're going to have a quick welcome from an elder, and then we will be live and online.
Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming to the summit on climate change here. This is by the Tla'amin Tribe and all of our great sponsors. And I'm Hunter Forsman, from the Tla'amin Tribe. We welcome our visitors from the various tribal schools. Got a chance to meet a few of you folks from Bombay and from Quinalt and different parts of the peninsula here. And welcome here to Tla'amin in the House of Agriculture. I'd like to thank CKA for all the work that went into planning this, especially Karen. Where's Karen at?
She's disappeared.
She's always working, right? Let's have a hand for Karen. Thank you.
What do we do?
Let's do a high five. Thank you. So anyway, on behalf of the Tla'amin Tribe, welcome here. You can see we're right here in front of our homeland, our waters. And you waving at me? I know. And as Paul and Sarah see now, and of course, the Tla'amin people have been, that's our lifeblood of marine waters of Puget Sound. We didn't have a major river to live on, so we traveled far and wide on the water of Puget Sound, using the winds and the tides to get enough food for us to bring home to our village, the Old Man House, and our other villages around Kitsap County and beyond. So we have enough food to live on for the winter time. And now that it's spring, we start to come out of the winter houses that kind of look like this. Not as fancy, of course, as this house, but similar to this house. And we'll be coming out and starting to travel again. And we did that by canoe. And we had very large and small and medium-sized canoes. We had a number of those. Even by after contact, we had over 150 canoes here, just in this Tla'amin area that we traveled in. And that was a reduced number from what we had before that, but the long and short of it is that we relied on those waters for our livelihood. And we had place names assigned for all the places along the shoreline that had different stories and events tied to them. So we have an ancient landscape here, and we had an ancient connection to this landscape. Many generations of people have come before us. And the generation that's here today has the responsibility to carry on a lot of those things that our previous generations fought to keep. And a lot of those are memorialized in the Treaty of Port Elliott that we signed in Makah in 1855. And we continue to work really hard with a lot of government agencies and the courts and Congress and the president and the governor and our county commissioners and all these people that work on trying to keep our waters clean and keep our beaches clean together. So a lot of you, how many 18-year-olds do we have? How many 17-year-olds do we have? Okay, so here are the 18-year-olds, 17-year-olds, remember to register to vote. And remember to register and vote for people who support this mission. It's very important. And continue to do that. So on behalf of the Tla'amin Tribe, once again, I'd like to thank you for being here. Read as much as you can about the issues facing us in climate change. Just showing up and putting on a t-shirt is not enough. We need to do more study about what we're going to do to change the way things are going. And one of those is the wastewater treatment. So when you flush your toilet, everything happens to it. It goes out to an outfall and gets treated, and the water needs to be cleaned when it goes out into the sound. And also when we drive our cars, we leave rubber, we leave brake dust and things on the road, and then we have a storm, and the storm water brings all those chemicals into the water. So we need to find better ways to treat stormwater, to treat wastewater. And we also have to work on trying to preserve as much open space as we can, because we do have to build houses for people as we grow as a population, but we also have to control it so it doesn't sprawl out and cover the whole landscape. If we do that, then the water will be contaminated, and then fish, sea mammals, clams, oysters, plankton, all these things that are important to the sea, to the environment, are going to be damaged. So just remember all those things and have a good time today, and thank you.
Hello, my name is Tina Jackson. I'm a Squamish cultural activities coordinator. My traditional name is Quileute, and I'd like to welcome you to the House of Work and Culture. And this is very introduce themselves. This Hacho, Ta'Kaiya seed style, the off seed storage, where I come to God, to all children, so forth. My name is Ta'Kaiya, also known as Kate Avocana. My mother is Creole, her other name is Peg Dean. My father is Larry Avocana. I'm a Spanish tribal member. Hi, I'm Amy Adams. Hi, I'm Sarah senior at Chief Kitsap Academy. The song that you just heard was the Squamish Gathering song. That song is sung really loud when we walk into a house like this to let people know that we're here and that Squamish is here, so that we want you to come and share our culture with us. So, thank you. No, okay, that's it for me. Thank you.
Karen, do you want us to go ahead and just get started? Okay, I wanted to make sure. All right, so hi everybody. My name is Stacey Rakolowski. I'm with Earth Echo International. Some of you know me and another person that is on our camera right now. I just want to check and see, folks that are on our Google Hangout, can you hear us? Yes, I have thumbs up, so I'm gonna go with it. They are muted right now. You guys cannot mute if you want to come off of mute for now, because we're gonna go ahead and start with this part of the program. So we have a couple of people online right now. The first I'm gonna go ahead and introduce is Philippe Cousteau. And Philippe is the founder of the organization that I work for, which is a nonprofit organization that works across the world to engage and inspire young people to act now for a sustainable future. He has a lot of other hats that he wears. I was hoping we may have a little bit of time to watch some videos that show a little bit of what Philippe does. He has a number of different shows, a syndicated show called Exploration Awesome Planet. He works on a number of different shows and advises a number of different organizations, councils, sits on a lot of boards. I'm going to let him talk a little bit more about his work moving forward, but I wanted to also say that this is not our first visit to Suquamish. We're really excited to be here and able to connect to the Indigenous Youth Summit on Climate and Ocean Change. I keep reading it in the back there rather than just saying it out loud, so I know it has a little cadence to it. But I want to thank everybody for having us here today. And Philippe, I'm going to kind of turn it over to you to say hello, and we're going to talk to you for just a second, just a few minutes, and let you kind of go over the work that you do, and then we're going to turn it over to our student groups to come up and talk a little bit about the work that they've been doing. And then you can have a little bit of dialogue and ask questions. And if you guys have questions for Philippe, that's a great time to talk to him as well. So any questions before we get started? All right, well, I'll turn it over to you, Philippe. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Stacy. We are delighted to be here and participate with you all. As Stacy said, this is not the first time that she's been there, and I've had the opportunity to visit with you all before as well, and it's just a thrill. I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person for studio today, hence that we have the background of a hotel behind the hotel room that I'm in for meetings and press, etc., because it's Mother Earth Day. So I'm here doing a lot of. One of the things I've been looking the most forward to today is spending some time with you all. So as Stacy said, I founded Earth Echo International. And all of my work, indeed, not just the work with Earth Echo, but all of it is focused on sustainability and really targeted to you all because, frankly, you know, the best part of my work, the best part of my job is with all the bad things that I see traveling around the world is spending time and interacting with you because despite the bad news that exists, despite the negativity that exists out there, when I see the enthusiasm and the fire that young people bring to these problems, it gives me hope. So I'm really excited to be able to spend a little bit of time with you today and share some of my projects from the documentaries that I do at the Awesome Planet, which is a syndicated series, airs on Fox every Saturday morning, and it's also free on Hulu. I'm sure you all know Hulu.com. To the various other things, other shows. We have a special that my wife Ashlyn and I are hosting for Discovery's Shark Week, the end of June. I know I'm sure a lot of you love Shark Week on Discovery. A lot of people do. That's all about shark conservation. So we do lots of different media projects and things, but the most important work that I do is what I'm doing right now. So I'm really excited to see the different types of projects that are going on and to be able to have a conversation with you.
All right, thanks, Philippe. We also have a familiar face here who's going to be helping out today. Nicole from the Olympic Coast National Marine Sanctuary is here as well if you want to lean in and say hello.
Hi, Philippe.
So,
hello, Hawaii.
And I was about to say, and first I think she needs to introduce the other camera that we have live today.
So my name is Nicole Harris, and I work with NOAA's Olympic Coast National Marine Sanctuary. And this ecosystem pen pal project that our students are going to be talking to you about today has been bridging these communities that live around the Pacific Rim. And one of our National Marine Sanctuaries, Hawaiian Island Humpback Whale National Marine Sanctuary, is with us today on camera, and that is Patty Miller. And there she is, there. Hi, Patty. And
Good morning.
We will have a
great.
chance. Go ahead, Patty.
I was going to say, it was great to meet all you kids when you were out here about, what, a week ago or so? And I hate to tell you, but the weather's beautiful this week as compared to the rain that you guys had, but I hope you had a good time while you were here. So our kids are not in yet. We're still waiting for them to come in, so I'll let you know as soon as they get here.
Great. Perfect. Okay, so I'll just give you guys a little introduction to Ecosystem Pen Pals for those of you that don't know. This was this great program that brought together indigenous communities from Washington State and connected them with communities in Hawaii and American Samoa. Unfortunately, not all of our participating communities can be here today. It's only 7:30 in the morning in American Samoa right now, and they have hurricane warnings that are coming in, and their internet has been kind of down. So it's all part of the story when you live in the middle of the Pacific Ocean on a small island. But some of our students here today have had the opportunity to pen pal with the students in American Samoa and Hawaii, and it's been, for me, a very fortunate experience to be a part of this opportunity to learn from these students and work with these students and their communities and how they are looking at this changing ocean that we have in front of us today. So we're going to now have the opportunity to hear from some of our students that have been working on projects and learning more about this ocean environment that they are so dependent and dependent on. And so the first one we're going to hear from is our Kohola High School students from the Quinalt Indian Nation. And I'd like to invite Jerry, their high school science teacher, up, Mr. Waltham, and his students. They have a video for us that we'll watch.
And I'm queuing that up right now. Now, Philippe and Kathy, we're going to try this video for you guys. It may show well for you, it may not, so I will send it along if it doesn't, but hopefully you guys will be able to see it. Oh, hold on. All right. Philippe and Kathy, can you guys see that in the window? No, let's see. We'll put this up and give me 1 second, guys. Screen share. Right here. Share. And I'll go ahead and start the video really quickly. Okay.
Oh, it's we'd like to share with you some of our programs in culture and practice of our monster who and the students at Hawaii involved in university and federal standards as well as non-nation. I'm going to read my thoughts here. Which my thoughts is dissolved oxygen in the water. We use the white side. To test that. The site is that not with the river. Our information is shared with Quinalt Services and the Natural Science Foundation. We monitor the effects of fish as well as shellfish, radiant plants, bats, and food as well as money. We also use the whole system to monitor the wild temperature and the streams. We are also involved in monitoring the host planetaries and full water monitors must be sea star structures with professional technology. We have our own water quality machine and we can also our students with water samples for treatment matter as well as
All right. Yeah, I think we have lost Philippe, so let's just move on.
I'll make this fast so I don't worry. I'm a career technical education teacher, not in the reservation in Ta'Kaiya. We have over 200,000 acres that we're responsible for, over 2,500 miles of fresh water streams, as well as 300 miles of ocean and beach that we're responsible for. So what Mike is talking about there is we're involved with a lot of universities, NOAA, Makah. We've got universities from the University of Washington, Oregon, California, all the way to the University of Connecticut to come and work with our kids. We also have our Department of Natural Resources that they get to go out and do that. They call them their foot soldiers, I call them our foot scientists. They go out and do a lot of collecting, data collecting, as well as anything else that happens on that ocean, on that beach, we're able to send one student out on the ocean on the SS Thompson to do, what was it, methane. They're out mapping methane runs. There's a lot more methane patterns out there. We have also methane runs on Quinalt Reservation on the land. So not only off our shores, it's also on our shores. So we're really interested in that. And we do a lot of hypoxia, which is dissolved oxygen in the dead zone. So we do a lot of the data research, and we share that information as well as the other schools. We do acidification of demonic acid, which has gets into the clams and shellfish. If you find out it doesn't hurt them, but it really so we do some of that. We do a lot of water temperature for our streams. Some of them that have canopies on them, some of them that don't have canopies on, and the difference in the temperature, and try to relate it to the tribal leaders so that they understand that once we start, the water starts forming up, and the stream dumps into the river, then it dumps into the ocean, it all has an effect. So that's some of the stuff that we do at the whole school. There's a lot more, but we got other people here, so thank you very much.
I'll let them know. Guys, for the moment, we seem to have lost Philippe, and I'm trying to figure out how he's trying to get back in. I think it's a technical, like a bandwidth problem. If he can't get back in, we may just call him in, and he won't be on video, but he'll be able to answer questions or ask questions. So I'm sorry about that, but I think it's just one of those technical glitches. That's the reason we send back up, and I come in person, and he's on the video. So I can help if anybody has any questions too. So.
Okay, so thank you, Tahola. That was excellent. So the next school we're going to hear from today is our Tla'amin Bay High School. They are just the gateway to Olympic Coast National Marine Sanctuary, really, where they're at, and they have been pen paling with Hawaii. So their teacher, Kevin Iyer, is going to come up, and their students, and they have a little PowerPoint to show us what they've been learning about with our changing ocean.
Thanks, Nicole. Yeah, so some of the stuff we have to share maybe review for a lot of you out here. We're hoping to share some of our information with Hawaii. So we're going to give you a little bit of a background into the Pacific Northwest and our area, and then a little bit of information about what we're going to be doing there. So without further ado,
You're getting it up right now.
here what we want to do with it.
There we go.
Do you guys want to use the mic to help people hear you? I think it might be.
We can move it.
Yeah.
All they can see right now is this, so come on through. Oh, thank goodness.
Okay.
Does somebody want to do the slides, or do y'all need me to do it? Come on, you can do the slides.
Katie's gonna move her slides. Is it?
If she just clicks right there, or she can do the arrow key.
You want to do the arrow key?
Just do like that when you're ready. Just turn. Okay.
Okay, so today I brought to class with you today to talk about the Pacific Northwest, and specifically Columbus. So this is our class, and right here in Washington, it shows specifically where on the map our bay is located. And what we have to talk about today is our marine environment, our terrestrial environment, ocean commotion, which would also be concerning ocean acidification, and what we're planning to do about it.
Katie, could you switch the slide? Okay, thanks.
Okay, for terrestrial environment, we live in a marine modified area, so you know it's usually like rainy and mild pretty much all year long. And the grass, it gets its nutrients from bacteria, fungi, and animals. And the deer, the little animals like to eat that. And then for predators, birds, like the bears and like the lynx and all the big ones. They like to kill the little animals. Yeah, that's pretty much how it works. And then we get our little web over there. That's sweetgrass, like you're like to eat. Okay. Oh yeah, Bob. I almost forgot about Bob. He tastes good. So here. Yeah. Our marine environment also has a wide variety of organisms living within it. Some of these include an orca, also known as a killer whale, an octopi, sea otters, and coho salmon. The salmon are a great example of a life cycle in our area because whether they're released from the hatchery or if they're born in the river, they'll live out their life. They'll swim to the ocean, and then they'll come back the same way to the same river to lay their eggs. At Marcuston Middle School in Nia Bay, one of the teachers, Crystal Russell, has 100 fish in a tank that she is raising, and in a couple months they will be released into the Suyaz River in Nia Bay.
Can I just take this off? Okay, so ocean commotion or ocean acidification, basically we're just going to talk about the issue of ocean acidification. And our oceans have gone from 8.2 to 8.1, which doesn't seem like much, but it's actually a significant increase, and even more so along our coast. Decrease, I mean. The pH is the level of hydrogen ion concentration within the area. And with the pH levels decreasing, the carbonate availability is also decreasing.
In the corner, there is a picture of the carbon cycle, which shows that ocean acidification is caused by the overproduction of CO2, which causes the oceans to acidify. This affects creatures like sea urchins, sea stars, oysters, and hermit crabs.
So those organisms that she just said have these shells that are made of carbonate, and if the carbonate availability is decreasing, then they're not going to have their protective shells, causing their populations to decrease. And then, even though fish don't have that protective shell, the pH decrease is affecting them because it's affecting their blood, causing them to be fatigued and stunting their growth. What we plan on doing about it is, in a couple weeks, professors from the University of Washington are coming down with sensor programs, and they're going to put them in our local docks, and it's going to measure the salinity, temperature, and the pH levels within our local waters. And that picture right up there is a sensor that a couple of our teachers in Palm Bay, including Mr. Iyer and Mrs. Denby and Mr. Wonderly, they made that, and it measures the temperature and moisture in the soil at our local school garden, and it sends data every single day. And then those tools right there are the tools that we will be taking in a couple of weeks when our class goes down to the beach, and we will be measuring the pH and other parameters at our local marina. And we are very excited to see where this goes. So.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Graceful. That was excellent, Tla'amin Bay. Thank you very much. So the next school we're going to have the opportunity to listen to today is our Quileute Tribal School from the Quileute Nation.
Ecosystem final.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I get the wrong one? No, I think I did.
Yeah, perfect.
Alright. Let's share the screen.
Yeah, sure. Hello, my name is Andrew Rahal. I'm the high school teacher at the Quileute Tribal School, and we have 4 of our students here, Jenny, Stephanie, Rihanna, and Shadow. And our class has been looking at a few aspects of our natural and cultural resources out at the tribe. We're located in Bush, Washington, which is at the mouth of the Quileute River and the Pacific Coast. So one of the most challenging environmental concerns we have right now is being out of a tsunami hazard zone. And so in 2012, just to give some background information on this, President Obama signed legislation for the tribe to acquire land that was in the national park, which borders our tribe for about 1 square mile, right down at the water there, and then some land at higher ground. But all our facilities, including the school and our tribal offices, everything's right at the beach. And so to get out of the tsunami hazard zone, we acquire some land in on the national park, and that is hopefully gonna, that's one response to some of the climate change and threats to our ecosystem. So I'll let the students take it away from here.
I'm President. Thank you.
How are they going to hear you?
Exactly. So, take it away.
I'm okay. Please.
Tsunamis on risk. Economic has reached the coastline in a matter of minutes would give the community members a short time.
A tsunami can make boats sink and cause the gas and oil to spill. All right, go. A natural resource. A washed up giant red western cedar log like this one could hurt our community if there was a tsunami. The log could hit and wreck houses and possibly hurt and or kill people. So, cultural resource. For the past 9 years, the Quileute tribe has welcomed the whales with an offering king salmon. The tribe hosts it on April 1st at First Beach. The tribe invites tourists to come. We offer the salmon to give thanks to the whales that were hunted for helping our tribe survive during harsh winters. Natural resource. The gray whale is a baleen whale that migrates between feeding and breeding grounds yearly. This particular whale normally feeds on shrimp and krill, but as a tribe, we offer the orca the salmon because they tend to gather around the bush during these offerings. The gray whale is distributed into an eastern North Pacific, North America population and are critically endangered. Our ancestors would hunt whales to provide food for the tribe. This is why we have an offering for the whales. As a tribe, we have recently ensured our future in fishing commercially and for our own resource purposes, which has strengthened our community and our relationship with the forever resourceful gray whale. And this is just an outlook on salmon. Salmon is a part of cultural resources because we smoke salmon in a traditional way, and part of our natural resource because we fish for it in the Quileute River and we eat and sell it. If there was a tsunami in La Push, our river would be washed away and our salmon would not be able to go upriver and lay their eggs. And that's it.
Okay, thank you, Quileute. So, Quileute and Tahola have both been pen paling with classes in American Samoa. So I know they're going to be really excited to see this when they get the link to it. So the next school we're going to have the opportunity to listen to is the Muckleshoot Tribal School. And Muckleshoot's also been pen paling with American Samoa.
Awesome. I need somebody to move slides just to take care of you.
Hello, thank you. I'm your teacher, high school teacher here at the Muckleshoot Tribal School. They are located near Auburn, Washington. And I have a couple of our students who are ready to share their natural and cultural resources of the area. I will let them begin.
The Tla'amin Forest. Our tribe has purchased 96,307 acres of forest across the King, Pierce, and Lewis counties. It's used for economic and cultural importance for our tribe, such as hunting elk, deer, and bear, for food and berry picking in the summer. Our Hancock Forest Management manages health of forests, fish, and animals. Our Muckleshoot Fisheries Commission manages the fisheries.
One way climate change can affect our oceans is the sea levels can rise, which will affect, it can affect the soil around, which can cause harm to certain plants that grow because the soil around will get more saltier. Ocean temperatures can rise, thus warm water makes it expand. It pushes more fish towards areas they need to be, because certain fish have to need certain water temperatures to survive. Sea life is being affected, and one way is ocean acidification, which is the decrease of pH levels, which can affect the shells of oysters and clams and all that, which makes them more vulnerable to prey, such as, I don't know. The warmer weather affects our mountains by, it makes glaciers and the snow melt off, and if we do not get more precipitation the following year, we will get less water, and a lot of people rely on water, close to 1 billion. From fresh water from mountains is drinking water, living water. It can affect the wildlife, such as bears coming out of hibernation earlier. Warm weather drives them out of hibernation. It can affect plant growth because the earlier the snow melts, the less water the plants have when it's their time to spring up. Good.
So,
Tuangulapu TV Shadya PCBR. Toalcha Shwakoshu Ho. Stewart of GFT Squad Crop Tom's Chat. Tom's Code. The Sego Chan of Tadisha, the Joe Love Sutra of Peace of Wait.
So To all of you, my friends and honorable leaders, we are from Muckleshoot Tribal School. We are river and mountain people. Thank you for inviting us to your gatherings. We are honored to be here. Enjoy your day until we meet again.
So now we get to hear from Chief Kitsap Academy. These are our hosts, and we're so grateful to them for having us and putting us on. And they also had the opportunity to recently go visit their pen pals in Hawaii. And after we hear from Chief Kitsap Academy, we will get to hear from our friends in Kalaheo High School that are waiting for us in Hawaii. Yep.
Okay, thank you everyone. And again, I'm Karen Matsumoto, and the science teacher for Chief Quileute and science teacher for Chief Kitsap Academy. And I'm going to introduce the speakers that will be giving our little presentation, and Connor Little, and also Brina. But I just wanted to also say, as part of this Ecosystem Pen Pal program, we just came back from a trip to Hawaii and worked with Kalaheo High School, who you're also going to hear from, and they were pen pals with other folks. And so anyway, we'll have question and answer period during lunchtime, and so I'm just, with no further ado, we'll have Connor talk about our ocean acidification project. All right, I'll push the button. All right. Got the lift up.
You can take it off. You can take it off.
It's okay.
You probably all know how CO2 works. You know, you breathe in, you breathe out, you're breathing out. You know, chemicals into the air. So the problem is, usually that's fine, but there's such an excess of it right now that carbon sinks like trees in the ocean can't absorb it all. As a result, the ocean's getting more and more acidic. The pH is lowering, and the water is getting more and more hostile to the things that live in it. So any animal with shells is basically getting destroyed. If it has a calcium shell, the acid is slowly melting it down. This is really important because of the pteropods that, feed our salmon, most of our fish, most of our sea life. And it hit the button here. All right. Here we kind of have it. So the plankton dissolved because of acidification. And because of that, animals like the salmon and shellfish, they just starve. Salmon especially, they make up most of our diet. Not only that, they're very culturally important. Because of that, we're suffering as well. So, we kind of see it. Our tribe is really getting hit by it because our economy is relatively, just based on the sea life we get and the food we get from that. So we have less salmon, we have less shellfish, and that means we have decreased income for employees, we have less jobs for those employees, and we have less food for everybody else. So a few days ago, we were trying to get shrimp for this, event. But even though a year ago we would have gone out, we would have just done it easily. Manuel here, and his family, just didn't get enough. Just didn't get enough to feed the venue. So.
Okay, so these are some pictures from our Ocean to Table project, where we worked with Rob Purser and Jay Mills. Rob took us out on his boat and we caught some salmon and then brought it back to our fisheries department where we learned from Jay Mills the traditional way to fillet, smoke, and can the salmon.
I think that's it. So if you can just say thanks to these folks.
Oh, and then we just want to say thank you to everybody who helped us out. Jay Mills, Rob Purser, Paul Doran, Suquamish Seafoods, Grover Creek Hatchery, and the Suquamish Wellness Program.
That's it.
Okay, so now we're going to switch over to Hawaii, where we'll get to hear from students from the Kalaheo High School.
Hi guys. Are you guys ready for us?
We can definitely hear you.
Okay.
We can see them. What I'm going to ask you guys to do is if you move your cursor to the kind of left-hand side of the screen, there's a screen share button. So you'll see a chat box and then a green kind of box. If you move
this.
Pretty sure.
Hi, Caitlin.
Bye. We actually don't have a PowerPoint or anything to share. We were just going to verbally share what we have.
Oh, okay. Well, then you don't need to share your screen. Okay, perfect. You guys go for it. Thank you.
So we didn't have one huge project we focused on this year just because we're really new to the Pen Pal program, which we've been really excited about. The main things we kind of focused on throughout the year was going through ecology, looking at the different Native Hawaiian species. Each student picked out a species, and we've been compiling for our field guides. One thing that we've just recently started in our classroom is we got a fish tank for each lab station that each student is going to be focusing on and caring for throughout the year. So we're going to be carrying this on until next year. And we're really looking forward to continuing our Pen Pal program. And, you know, we had the Chief Kitsap school come and visit us, which was really exciting, and we had a lot of fun with that. And yeah, so those are the things that we've been kind of focusing on. Not like a huge project, unfortunately. We just didn't get it. We're just getting started with our program here. So thank you for letting us joining in. And we've had a really good time, and we hope to meet up with you guys again. And we're definitely looking forward to doing what you're doing. Thank you. Okay. How do I do it?
And I can ask. It's okay. You can stay in front of the camera, guys. We're going to talk a little bit, ask some questions.
So thank you to all the students who have worked really hard and then actually came and gave us an introduction to what you guys have been learning and talking about. And I'm sure I'm not speaking alone here, that it's very hopeful to hear from this next generation that you are understanding and working on these challenges that are facing our ocean and ultimately our world and all of us. So first, thank you for doing that. You And I think that since we have Stacy here, it would be great to have a little bit of question and answer so we can all learn from each other.
Okay, that sounds good to me. I am happy to call Philippe back in. He is reachable by phone, but I think it's better if we can kind of see each other and ask questions, and he didn't get to hear everyone's presentation. So I had a couple of questions that came up as the presentations were being done. And one for me that was one thing that was really relevant to me is, does anybody, as a result of starting to do this research, is there something that you want to change about your own personal behavior? Like, is there something that you found that you may be doing or not doing that you think you should change? Or is everybody perfect? More walking, exercising, using your car less. I find it very very interesting when I'm here. I'm not from this area, so I'm not accustomed to the ferries. So I find it very refreshing to see people biking onto a ferry, taking a ferry, and biking off of a ferry. That's where I live. It would take a lot to get people to let go of their car. They don't want to let go of their car. So do you guys have any questions for each other? I have tons of questions, but do you guys have any questions for each other? Or have you been pen paling each other your questions? Okay, I heard a couple of things during the presentations that were big problems, big issues. I heard dead zones, I heard ocean acidification. I heard, I don't have a good term for the tsunami. What was the tsunami?
Tsunami inundation.
Tsunami inundation. Okay, I was paying attention. But just out of curiosity for you guys, what do you think is the biggest issue that we're facing? Climate change. What is the biggest issue that we're facing right now? What is the one that's the most, it's hitting home? Yes. Go ahead. I'm sorry, say again. Water consumption. So like the availability of clean water? Okay.
Not only but also food or farm, water left and right. We take the school, not friends, and everything. It's not a long time. Water flow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sorry, I didn't have. And that's a really good point. And one of the things that Philippe and I both talk about when we do speaking, with big groups of young people, you can get into a position when you talk about these things where it feels really overwhelming. I was talking about that earlier. Right now. She was talking about that earlier, how it gets overwhelming. It's very dark. It's how do we make a difference? But if every single person in this room turns off their coffee and they brush their teeth one time a day, that's 3 gallons of water per person in this room. This is a small group of people. That's a lot of gallons of water. When you look at it, that's a tiny change, a little change that a person can make. And in places like Seattle, where I'm from, we talk about water shortage, and it doesn't really seem real. We're surrounded by water, and it doesn't seem like a real issue. But there are many, many, many places in the world where access to water is the issue. They're not talking about climate change, they're not talking about acidification, they're not talking about anything. They're talking about how they're going to get water. You can't get water, you can't what? You cannot live. It is not that's it. There's no questions asked about it. So I saw somebody else talk about what the most important issue that.
Well, also that is the industrial companies that's caused a lot of this. You got water with like gas you get out of the ground. I researched it. I had no idea about that. Water, even out of water. And then you got the big corporations that change it, like they might be trying to fight the government, not to change it. I just read that they were being stopped in Texas, probably shutting down a lot of the gas companies because the natural gas companies actually changing the global warming, which is causing the pH to go lower, in the water, which is killing most of the sea life. Fishing, killing pretty much. The bands doing a lot of fishing. You got Asia, off of Asia, burning trash. Like my wife is Filipino. I go over there. You can't breathe. You literally can't breathe. You go to Thailand, you go all through Asia, China, all that too. They don't believe it. You think, gosh, it's just burning. Right there on the spot. You see houses burning. They put it all in the towel and they burn it, they go away and they leave it. Sometimes Now you just extended rubber, plastic. So we all need to cut down on plastic. Because if we quit buying plastic, Japanese would make it. Not only Japanese, but China, because we are a big consumer of plastic. You know, and plastic is also problematic. Yes.
Well, no, I think that you really bring it home. So I'm really glad that you did it. And the thing that I wanted to say is echoing what I heard from Robbie and Ta'Kaiya, but you guys haven't heard from this yet. I got to hear this earlier. Yeah. I think the answer is here. This is a huge problem. They call it a wicked global issue. And God saying the word wicked is not a clear-cut answer. Everything is connected. Using too much water, pollution of our aquifers, acidification of our oceans, climate change, carbon emissions, all of this is all connected. I think it's all one without solving another. But I think, like Robbie and Ta'Kaiya were both explaining, the answers are here. The cultures that I get to, witness, because this is not where I grew up. It's not an area that I haven't been around the native cultures all of my life. But the cultures that I get to witness, the answers are already here. And you guys have for a long time, throughout the history, had those cultures, had those values already embedded. A corporation doesn't have a heart. It doesn't have a conscience. It doesn't have morality. It can act without those things. But a culture, a society, a community, there's where you'll find the heart and the morals and the conscience that will get us through all this. So I just wanted to say that, and with that, I think I'm going to turn it over.
Thank you very much, ladies. We're going to have a big round of applause for the folks that presented today. I want to thank all of the students and those that are here for all their patience with us. I know this is lunchtime, and so sometimes it's hard to stay focused on this very important issue, but I do appreciate your guys' patience and your consideration of all the folks that put time in to do this event today. I'm going to ask a person to come up and put a blessing on our food this afternoon, but I'd also like to remind all of our students, particularly that we're going to eat, as always, elders go first, then guests, and then our students. So please do not rush up there, guys. I appreciate you all being respectful, and making sure that we get our elders and our guests fed first. So Dennis Sutter, could you come up here? Y'all can stand.